Hello, gorgeous Capricorn family, and welcome to our April 2021 reading. What a nuanced, interesting month. Like, on the surface of it, it's energetically one of those months where it may seem really obvious and like on the nose and like everybody's just doing these things. And then there's these levels of subtlety going on that I'm noticing as I'm going through these readings, and each one is so unique and different. And when I sat down to look at your energy, Capricorn, one thing I noticed right away is that you are working more and more, and this year especially, just as we're moving forward, from the subtlety from the inside out, right? And that whole idea that so many teachings are based off of, which is that, the energetics of something are very important, right? Our emotional state, the way that we feel about things, can really help us to see and experience external things, right? And this month is no exception there. We have a ton of energy in Aries. The sun is obviously moving through. Venus and Mercury are also moving through Aries this month. And this is, your fellow cardinal sign, but it has so much to do with like your internal hidden world, the world that isn't for the public, isn't for anybody to see, but like those closest to you, and for your soul, and for like what safety and comfort and beauty is from the inside. And that's actually a really powerful place to do creative work. It's a really powerful place to create life, to move forward in things. And it's also countercultural, because culture often tells us that we need to be busy externally in order to experience joy inside, and also to experience forward motion. And so you're being asked to kind of dive into that way of creating. Now, this month in general is quite supportive of you. Have that fourth house, home, hidden, moonlit energy through Aries season. And then as we move to Taurus season, Venus, Mercury, the sun all move over there. Well, they're also going to be joining Lilith and Uranus and Taurus. So Taurus energy is going to be strong. Fellow earth sign, which is really powerful for you because it's going to be lighting up your creative juices. It's going to be firing up your heart chakra. It's going to be firing up, your vision for the future via your heart. And so for me, like, both your soul and your heart are the highlighted actors this month. They have a power and a presence and a resonance that you can really utilize and work with for the entirety of April. April continues to be a month with a lot of direct forward motion planetary wise, up until the 27th, when Pluto begins his retrograde in your sign. And we'll get into that more. Outer planets retrograde every year for about half the year, so this is just half of life, but most of April is still going to have a lot of that direct feeling to it. Also, this is an interesting little tidbit about this month. Mars will be moving to your opposing sign of Cancer. So Mars in your relationship house, Mars in your relationships is going to be invigorating that as well. And one of the other key things I'm noticing about April in general for all people is vulnerability and authenticity are kind of inescapable. Like, if you think that you can just skip over and just kind of stay superficial, King of Cups, I love it. And, just like deal with things and do things the same old, and not listen to your soul and not listen to what you're really needing, then this month is going to continue to pull you toward that authenticity and that vulnerability. And that's exciting, right? Like, I know people here, like in our conversations, like, we want vulnerability, we want authenticity, but it's still scary, the star, when that is what's being asked of us, right? It's still scary to step in there and be vulnerable. And, Mars in your opposing sign of Cancer is just going to clarify, it's going to help you get connected, get clear, get deeper on relationships, Magician, and even, make it one of the priorities of this month. And obviously Mars moving through Cancer, that's going to continue into May as well, because Mars doesn't move in until the 23rd, I believe. Yes, the 23rd. And Six of Cups. Wow. Hello, Capricorn. We have some really strong cards in this reading. We're not messing around here, people, okay? Capricorn is coming back. I think about you all adjusting out of the phase over these first months of 2021 out of all that Saturn and Jupiter energy in your sign, and just like what's coming up now, what is creativity now, like what is the energetic cycle now, and playing with it. And what I'm seeing here, there's a lightness to it in a way. Like there's a simplicity to it. Like it doesn't need to be super complicated, it doesn't need to be super heavy. Like what I'm noticing is that these cards are speaking to, yes, emotional authenticity, but also just like you already know what you want. You already know in your heart what you want to shift, what you want to change, what you want to grow into, what you want to say yes to fully, what you want to try, what you want to explore. You know these things, right? And these cards are just expressing that. So King of Cups, first of all. Speaking of Mars and Cancer, like for me, King of Cups is very Cancerian. This is about, being able to have emotional fluency, right? Which means that it's not that we are the emotions. It's not that he is the ocean. He understands that our emotions help guide us. They help direct our course. They can be really, really useful tools. And they're one of the ways that we can translate our soul through our physical body into whatever it is that we're needing to follow or adjust. And the King of Cups is very much about the authenticity to our soulful listening. So you may find that maybe you have a Cancerian in your life or another watery energy, but this is also something that's getting activated in you and called on in you that has to do with that emotional listening. And once again, Aries season is going to be a time where it's from the inside out, it's from your emotion house out. And so you're going to be noticing you're going to get impulses and downloads of information and just emotional feelings and experiences depending on what's coming up, what decisions you're needing to make. Use that. Use it. Help it. Let it help you, guide you, because who can argue with the Star and the Magician? Awesome cards. Awesome cards to have. These cards are like both tied to getting your wish. This word's so overused anymore, right? Manifesting what it is you want, but it's that experience of, when you've been dreaming of something for a long time. It's been in your bones. It's been in the back of your mind, and maybe you've been, moving forward, getting things done, taking care of business. Things have been fine, but it's still just back there hanging out, waiting, right? And you've been wondering, like, am I ever gonna experience these things? And then these cards are tied to what it feels like when you start to notice that it's happening, right? That critical mass point where things start to happen. Now, here's the deal. Especially with the Star. I always say with the Star is often nicknamed the wish card and getting your wish, right? And it is a beautiful, healing, supportive, wonderful card. And all this energy is moved over to Aquarius, which the Star is associated with. But the Star also asks something of you, which is to expand past your comfort zone, which is to expand past the familiar and do something a little differently. And I would say the same, slightly different. The Magician's a little bit more owning your role, like owning your journey, owning the beginning of something big, and really stepping into those shoes and letting yourself have it, right? But also the Magician is going to ask for things to be done a little differently. To start exploring different aspects of yourself, start exploring different aspects of your routine, of how you've thought of yourself and your identity, right? You may have, even if you feel like you're pretty open-minded about yourself, you may have like a version of your identity. You would just say like, this is who I am, Like I'm a nice person that everybody calls me because I'm consistent and they know that if they call me, I will take care of the problem. And that's just who I am. That's who I am in my family. That's who I am in my community. That's who I am to myself. Is that all you are? Is that really your whole being? Or is that just like become, the container for yourself? And does it have to be that way? Do you always have to pick up the phone? And that's just one example. We all are going to have our own little definitions of ourselves, our own little mythologies of ourselves that, may or may not fit us anymore. And so what I'm noticing too, these cards are so supportive of you. There's no argument here that these are fantastic cards. They're going to ask that self-authenticity, right? Like, are you really just those things, or can you let yourself grow into this next phase? And this is about joy. This is about creativity. This is about having fun. This is about not just doing what's expected of you, but doing what feels truly good at a soul level. And there's a big permission going on now. Here's the thing. There is a layer going on here to this reading, and it's got to do with the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups is so much of like a deja vu card. To me, often, yes, there's a sweetness, a youthfulness, like a nostalgia of the way things have been in the past, or like people we've loved in the past, like those sweet moments we have of times that have passed. That is beautiful. And that's kind of like the on-the-nose reading of the Six of Cups. But the Six of Cups always speaks to our relationship to our past selves, especially our childhood selves. And often where our permission and where our mythologies about who we are, how we handle things, comes from childhood, right? It's just, we learn and soak up so much information in our early years that, we come up with a lot of frameworks to work with. So when the Six of Cups shows up here after all this growth energy that is all about you continuing to expand into a new shape and exploring yourself past all the Saturn and Capricorn lessons, past all the Jupiter and Capricorn lessons, past even when the South Node was in your sign, not that long ago, last year. Who are you beyond maybe some of those old, outdated mythologies? As comfortable as they can be, as sometimes comforting as they can be, and sometimes as beautiful and reminiscent as they can be, are they serving you now? So that's where the Six of Cups is coming in here. This is that subtle layer, noticing where you deny yourself permission, where you deny yourself growth because, that's not who I am, that's not what I do, I'm not allowed to do things differently. Right? Here's the other thing I'm going to say before I pull the final card from my Animal Totem Tarot. And actually, I'll start shuffling while I'm saying this. Anytime I get a whole bunch of big growth cards like this, Star, Magician, King of Cups, we're going. Here we go. Let's go. Anytime that happens, I want to urge you to balance the growth out with getting plenty of rest. Find quiet spaces in your day, your week, where you can listen to your soul, where you can just rest and relax. The card has popped out. It is the Empress. We are heading into Taurus season. Oh, so beautiful. I love this card. The Sacred Cow. Make sure you're resting. And actually the Empress is going to speak to that very powerfully, I think, in just a moment here when I read her message, because the Empress is all about divine rest and self-trust. So let's read the message for her. On the way towards birth, something amazing happens. Creation. It is the act of creation that brings together the magic of the universe and the power of the spirit. It is through the creation process that the soul gets to express itself unencumbered. Yet everyone seems more impressed with the big bang at the end. How funny that the end is the only part that seems to be cause for celebration. Look deep into my eyes and let me show you how to tap into the true magic you have inside of you. Come, lay down on the grass amongst the wildflowers and let me show you what real creative love feels like. And yes, I love that message, the idea that, creativity and like beginning new chapters and burgeoning and growing, it's not always about like the loud crash, right? It's creative opening and burgeoning is very soft. And it goes back to that message I had when I was just intuitively sitting with your energy that said that Working the magic from the inside out is really important this month. And when you're working magic from the inside out, it is very, very quiet. But here's what's really interesting about it. As quiet as it seems to softly listen in and to just take some time and to slowly start crafting and putting little pieces together, the momentum builds and builds. And suddenly you'll realize, even if you're in a peaceful place, that you're flying forward into new things. So as much as it's an illusion that we're moving slowly, it is just that, it's an illusion. There is no slow or fast, truly, but there is a swiftness that comes when we start doing things from the inside out, from the soft, quiet out. And, you know, the Empress is the message there for that. Now, you have a ton of creative energy here. A ton. Star, Magician, Empress. Are you kidding me, you guys? This is an awesome reading. And treat your magic with care and with kindness and with love, and take care of yourselves. So important. We will be doing all sorts of deep diving and cozy chats over on my Patreon. It's a really great resource if you're looking for some extra guidance and a way to connect with me a little bit more. I would love to see you there. I'd love to see you here. I love being here, so I'd love it if you liked and subscribed. You can also find me on my website and on my Instagram, where I'm really trying to post more regularly. It has been such a weird year with social media, I tell you what. You can also find PinkLune's gorgeous jewelry on her Etsy shop as well. So I'll leave all of those links in the description, and I will talk to you beautiful Capricorns very soon for our next reading and for all the moons ahead, and have a beautiful April.